We begin with our first panel, the knowledge economy, moderated by Maria Abou Sakr, associate partner in strategy and AI.
Minds left in search of stability and opportunity. But today, the story is shifting.
My name is Elie. I work as a career outreach officer for Sakr, an AI global company. I'm so grateful to be able to work on global projects and get so much exposure from my home country, Lebanon.
My name is Christoph, and I'm the founder and CEO of Sakr, a company focused on democratizing AI through training, consulting, and building practical AI solutions. I chose to work with talent in Lebanon for a simple reason. It is home, and I know how much potential there is. Even when I moved abroad, I always felt that people in Lebanon are creative, smart, and very hungry to grow. So it just made sense to build my team over there.
Hello, my name is Francis El-Halou. I am the founder of AI Ritual, an AI consultancy and product studio focused on helping organizations turn artificial intelligence into something really practical.
We are very creative, very adaptable, multiple languages. We think, we act, we don't complicate things. So it's straight to the point. We have an advantage.
Working on global projects from Lebanon is very empowering for me, as I get that chance to connect with people from different backgrounds, perspectives, and countries.
Fully stop the brain drain, it's not impossible. We can do a lot. Change the way we produce. We don't consume, we should produce. And then secondly, opportunities. Diaspora is a big opportunity for us.
Working with diaspora leaders has helped me grow a lot, as I get the chance to connect with leaders from global experience and with an amazing background. So it helps me every day aim higher and think bigger.
When it comes to collaborating with talent in Lebanon, the decision was very intentional. I was looking for people who are comfortable with complexity, given the nature of the new technology that we are working with.
What makes Lebanese talent special is how they mix creativity with problem solving. They find solutions even in tough situations, and they always bring new ideas to the table.
We are very resilient. We always learn fast and we adapt quickly to everything we have. We always put our heart into everything we work on and we do.
The most important part is to brand ourselves as a tech Lebanon or Lebanon tech brand. We need to work on the brand so that people can know us. People can show and direct, there's a Lebanese good talent. We need to brand ourselves, we need to brand people, we need to help them position themselves, and most importantly, be trusted.
I think other diaspora entrepreneurs should look at Lebanon when building teams. There is so much talent there, and people are very motivated when given the chance. You get great work, strong commitment, and you also feel that you are giving something back to the country. It is a win for everyone.
My advice to all other entrepreneurs of Lebanese origin or otherwise, I truly believe that Lebanon represents a unique opportunity. And I'm not saying that out of sentiment, but out of strategy.
Imagine a Lebanon where human capital is our greatest export, not our people. Imagine a global network of Lebanese talent connected across continents, creating, solving, building, together. This is the knowledge economy. This is Lebanon, powered by its people, wherever they are.
So as mentioned in this video, Lebanon has long been known for exporting talent. Today, in the knowledge economy, skills and expertise are no longer tied to a geography. Technology and remote work allow ideas and innovation to freely cross borders. This gives Lebanon a powerful opportunity, the opportunity to export skills and innovation rather than talent. And the Lebanese diaspora plays a central role in making this happen. The diaspora can be a strategic asset in connecting Lebanon to its knowledge economy. This is the opportunity that we are here going to talk about during this panel. And to do so, we are joined by 5 Lebanese technology leaders who have built successful careers across the globe. So we'll have with us Mr. Wehbe, founder of Daimlas, supporting America to win the AI race. Mr. Wehbe is part of the World Economic Forum AI and Entrepreneurship Expert Network. Dr. Elie Mitri, a successful AI and robotics entrepreneur. He's the founder of QSS AI and Robotics that developed the first locally made humanoid robots in Saudi. Dr. Mohammad Sahili, a physician who became a visionary entrepreneur. He leads various community-driven health, sustainability, and wellness initiatives across Africa and the Middle East. Dr. Charles Bteiche, an AI transformation healthcare executive. He is the vice president at Topcon Healthcare, leading AI-powered digital health and diagnostic innovation across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. And finally, Mr. Ahmad Bakkar, a seasoned aerospace and aviation executive. He is a program director at Thales with a career spanning drones, airports, and advanced aerospace innovation. To set the stage for our discussion, let's first make sure that we have a shared understanding of the knowledge economy in the context of Lebanon. Mr. Wehbe, let me first start with you with the first question. So when we say knowledge economy, what does this mean for Lebanon? And where do you see Lebanon's strongest knowledge economy opportunity? Is it in its talent, in its entrepreneurship, innovation, or something else?
Great. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to Pascal for the invitation. Before I answer that question, I want to preface by saying that some of my contributions for this are from my work for the World Economic Forum AI Expert Network. And the knowledge economy for Lebanon means the ability to transition towards the innovation economy where the conversation is happening globally due to the power of AI. And as we work with emerging AI ecosystems, every country, every state is trying to figure out what is my competitive advantage in AI specifically. Before we identify what is the competitive advantage of Lebanon, we need to have a baseline. So the first step is to have a map of the knowledge economy of Lebanon. And once we have the map of the knowledge economy of Lebanon, we need to identify in the AI world who are the stakeholders that need to participate. So in the AI world, you have AI for kids, AI for entrepreneurs, AI for investors. Once we identify those stakeholders, the contribution that I did for the World Economic Forum is something called the WTP, the willingness to participate in an AI ecosystem. And what that means is every region has between 6 to 8 attributes that drive the willingness to participate. So what is my willingness to participate in the Lebanon knowledge economy? The way that we can identify that is by having the map, and the willingness to participate is a function of the highest number of resources on the knowledge economy map. So without having a knowledge economy map of Lebanon, we can't identify the competitive advantage, but what we can do is we need to identify those attributes that drive the willingness to participate, and then we need to benchmark against 2 similar competitors to Lebanon. So we can't say that Silicon Valley or India are knowledge economy competitors of Lebanon, but we need to find 2 similar nations that Lebanon is competing with in the knowledge economy, and that will drive Lebanon to identify the competitive advantage. So we need to tackle this from a first principles perspective, and that starts with the knowledge economy map and identifying the attributes which are a function of the resources on the knowledge economy map.
Thank you. So if this is what the knowledge economy for Lebanon will look like, Dr. Mitri, why is the knowledge economy important today? Like, why is this topic important today? And more specifically, what does it mean for Lebanon, and how would Lebanon benefit from it, and it will help its economic recovery?
Perfect. أول شيء, thank you for having me. I will speak in Lebanese لأنه اشتقت أحكي لبناني. أنا I believe كل بلد بيبني. Thank you. I believe كل بلد بيبني الايكونومي تبعه based on pillar, based on tangible، اشياء قادر يلمسها وقادر يبني على اساسها وقادر يعمل scalability لهيدي الاشياء. لبنان منه بلد غني بالموارد الطبيعية، منه بلد عندنا مناجم ذهب والماظ، نحن ذهبنا والمازنا هن طاقاتنا هن شبابنا. So I believe in the knowledge economy is not only a phase that will transition Lebanon into its next phase, هي خلاص لبنان. If you take a small benchmark, let's talk about China, 1978, 1979, China كانت بلد طالع من حرب عالمية ثانية، بلد الكوميونيزم اكلها، شعبها فقير، منه مثقف، منه معلم، شخص واحد one leader had vision لهذا البلد، بني pillars for knowledge economy. و very few people know and understand that China الترانزيشن اللي عملتها between 1979 واول ال 2000 كانت اسمها hybrid knowledge economy، اللي حول الصين ووصلها اللي وصلت له اليوم هي knowledge economy. So going back to Lebanon، نحن اللي بيهمنا مش نصدر أدمغة، مش نفلش شغلنا من لبنان، the way opposite، نمكن الشباب اللبناني، وأنا بسميهم أبطال، نحن فلينا بس هن بقيوا. هالأبطال ال resilient Lebanese entrepreneurs اللي فضلوا to be the change not wait for a change، وخولوا لبنان يوصل لمحلات ما فكرنا نوصل نحن من قبل. نحن هدفنا وشغلنا as diaspora نمكنهم ونساعدهم for the next phase.
Thank you. Let's look at the how. Like, how have other countries built like successful knowledge economies? And here I would like to address a question to Mr. Bakkar. When we look at countries that have successfully built knowledge economies, like how did they define it for themselves, and how did they develop it throughout the years?
Thank you very much for this question. So basically, if we want to look into successful models, we need to understand what is the system or the process that allows these countries to be successful in building their economy. And base it on knowledge. So you look at aspects and at pillars of this economy. So you think about universities, you think about the public sector, and you think about companies and the private sector. And in successful models like the one in the Netherlands, we have what we call the golden triangle. And this is basically the cooperation between these three entities in order to bridge the gap in a particular sector. And recently, the Netherlands and Europe were extremely behind on artificial intelligence, for example. And what they did is that they actually built accelerators and workshops within universities, within knowledge institutes, and these actually led to particular startups that became companies. So there are payment companies and different companies that are valued with basically $100 billion at the moment, and they started out of university. But the main factor was the cooperation between these three factors to give the direction within the country.
Okay. Well, I mean, now if we agree that Lebanon has a real opportunity in the knowledge economy, the next natural question is actually how do you make all this happen? And knowledge economies do not emerge from by accident. Actually, they are built on a set of core enablers. And here I would like to mention 4 enablers: talent, innovation and research, institutions and governance, and infrastructure. And we'll tackle each one of those in our panel today. So starting by the first one, which is the foundation, the people. Dr. Bteiche, Lebanon is widely recognized for its strong talent, much of which is now globally dispersed. What do you see is the key strength of our talent, and how can this talent be leveraged to serve the knowledge economy?
Thank you, Maria, for hosting me. Thank you, everyone, for coming. So first, we operate, I can give you an example about the Lebanese team that we established. We are a corporate company. We have approximately 5,000 employees operating globally. And we are a hardware manufacturer. In fact, one of the successful story, we were able, in fact, to establish a team, an excellence team in Beirut, which is running the full digitization process globally. This team is pretty much focused on implementing and deploying national screening program using AI and using cloud services as well. This team success, if we look at it, if we look at the components of success, if we look at the people who are working in this team, most of them, they have common characteristics or common competencies as Lebanese people. And why this team succeeded, why the European team couldn't succeed in this operation of digitization, the whole process of the corporate, or leading the digitization process transformation of the national healthcare systems. Mainly, Lebanese people are highly adaptive. They have a multilingual factor, which is helping them, as well as they are mostly like problem-solving attitude, as well as high resilience operation, mostly not high resilience, I don't like the word. I like more, let's say, positive adaptation, mainly, and task owners. So if we look at the competencies, we are talking about entrepreneurial skills even at the corporate level of the employee. So taking a task, doing it, accepting the challenge, despite all the fact. And this is forged by the fact that most of the Lebanese are facing a complex environment day by day. So if we need to leverage on top of it, we can take, let's say, 3 easy steps. One of them is, as you said, as this LDE event is moving forward and establishing that we need to stop the brain drain and exporting people to moving to the brain circulation, which is mainly what we call in our corporate environment the talent flow. This is one step. Secondly, we need to adopt in all our projects, governmental, private, or public, a digital-first skills development. Any project should take into consideration the implementation of AI, infrastructure, data security. All those layers should be integrated in any future law, in any future investment. As well as the last point is to create a secure framework, a secure access and fast access to private investor in diaspora or in the corporate environment to access those talents beside or away from the gap of the governmental bureaucratic system. This is pretty much essential. So again, the heading of the talent flow is the way to go. It is the way to export ideas, expertise, skills, and mentor those skills and resources rather than just exporting people.
Okay. I mean, we agree that we have a strong foundation in terms of talent, but nowadays, like the skills are, the required skills are evolving very fast. Dr. Sahili, given how quickly skills are changing and given Lebanon's current economic and institutional constraints, how can vocational training, lifelong learning, and digital education help Lebanon remain competitive in the knowledge economy?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us first. And I would like to second my fellow panelists when they focused on the brain gain instead of the brain drain. And if we take that into consideration, we look at 2 factors. We have a high literacy rate in Lebanon. And unfortunately, since 2019, we have approximately 15% of the population that has immigrated. So let's look at some examples that were successful, like, for example, in Singapore, where what has been done is that we have integrated AI-driven solutions in order to tailor and create special curricula to individual skill gaps. That will help also if we look at lifelong learning, for example. If we can seal a deal between public and private sector with the help of the diaspora in order to, for example, have Coursera or even local startups building such curricula also to look at the emerging fields such as sustainable energy or even if we look at AI, etc. This will help in looking and bridging the gaps and also reducing the unemployment rate by giving some people the opportunity of upskilling remotely. Last and for least, also, we can rely on a joke that we always use in Lebanon, which is a talent and it's an asset, the multilingual asset that we have, Hi Kifak Sava, right? This will help us if we can use this as, instead of importing skills, exporting those skills through virtual training hubs and turning Lebanon into the Middle Eastern hub for such training centers. That will help in accessing other markets in emerging countries such as those that are in Africa and beyond.
Thank you. Dr. Mitri, what do you think are the skills that are missing the most in Lebanon? Like, and what are the changes needed to actually make sure that the graduate skills are aligned with what the knowledge economy demands?
What was my question?
Yes.
الصوت فيه echo.
Yeah, I'm not able to hear as well very well. So I'm talking about the missing skills that could be missing in Lebanon for the graduates to make sure that there is alignment between what is needed and what is available.
Perfect. And I believe we have great universities in Lebanon. We have great schools. عندنا professors ودكاترة بياخدوا العقل. المشكلة بلبنان هو إنه we have an outdated curriculum. We are still working in a theoretical curriculum, not in an applied curriculum. وإذا بنطلع بالبلدان الحوالية, let's take Saudi Arabia for example, because I live there. السعودية شو عملت بنظام التعليمي؟ أخذوا بوز، عملوا global benchmarking، طلعوا وين العالم رايح. ثاني أقوى اقتصاد بالعالم هو الصين. فوتوا اللغة الصينية ضمن المنهج التعليمي السعودي for example. This is applied curriculum. في كتير سكيلز الشباب اللبناني بحاجة لها، الجين زي والجين ألفا اللي هلا بالمدارس اللي بعد 10 أو 15 أو 20 سنة حيكونوا هن محلنا. We should give them skills, entrepreneurial skills. We should give them multitasking skills. So في كتير أشياء بالمدارس that need a small change so we can reach. عندي مسج كمان من القلب بدي وصله for the entrepreneurs لأنه unfortunately entrepreneurship صارت إذا بدك Instagram success, overnight success, which is not. فينا بس نوطي الايكو شوي لانه عم بسمع حالي مرتين اذا في مجال. Thank you. It's fine. So okay, thank you. So entrepreneurship شيء كتير عظيم لدرجة إنه كل مرة بحكي عنه بحس وقف شعر بدني على اللبناني. صار لي 11 سنة أنا مغرب تارك لبنان، ما حدا وصلني، ما حدا عملني، عملت حالي من الصفر. تركت لبنان عمري 22 سنة، طلعت على المملكة العربية السعودية، ما بعرف حدا، ما عندي حدا، تعبت، شقيت، عشت أول 8 سنين من حياتي suffering to be able to say إنه على السنة التاسعة I started to unlock what is entrepreneurship. So المسج بدي وصله إنه nothing comes easy in life. الشباب اللبناني عم بيجربوا بس ما فينا نشوف failure يقول لك أنا فشلت صار لي شهرين بجرب. This is not entrepreneurship. So كمان نحن واجباتنا نكون mentors to mentor هالشباب اللبناني اللي طالع ونقدر نساعده as much as we can. نحن وصلنا غيرنا في يوصل. Our social responsibility is to support and hold their hand until they reach and achieve what they are planning to.
Thank you. So strong talent is essential, but on its own, it's not enough. The next step is to actually turn this talent into innovation and research. Mr. Wehbe, there is a risk that Lebanon could become known mainly for its source of low-cost talent. How can Lebanon actually move up the value chain to move from execution to innovation and the creation of intellectual property?
Yeah, great question. And everything that my fellow panelists said can actually be consolidated into a center of excellence. So let me explain. If I'm sitting today in Boston, the AI value chain, I have an AI lab for healthcare, I have an AI lab for marketing, I have one for nutrition, I have one for finance, I have one for every part of the economy. What Lebanon needs is a knowledge economy center of excellence. So the outdated curriculum you mentioned and everything that we need to teach. And if we believe that the knowledge economy is the future for Lebanon, there needs to be a center of excellence that's platform agnostic, that's university agnostic, and led by every stakeholder in the ecosystem, because it's what works in other countries. So if we've seen that these AI centers of excellence, they work in Boston and Silicon Valley, that's what we need in Lebanon, because every school, K-12, needs to have an AI center of excellence. Every university in Lebanon needs to have an AI center of excellence because of the outdated curriculum and everything else happening. So the knowledge economy and to kind of move up the value chain, that work needs to be consolidated into a knowledge economy center of excellence. And you can't talk about an emerging market, whether it's India or Nigeria or Lebanon, without talking about the institutional voids. I don't know how that translates into Arabic, but institutional voids are areas of the economy in the finance sector, in the labor, in the talent market, and the infrastructure where entrepreneurs can identify those opportunities. So the institutional voids that exist in emerging markets are actually entrepreneurial opportunities. And that's how we need to look at Lebanon and moving up the value chain. Moving up the value chain as the world is racing towards the innovation economy, we can't only be talking about the knowledge economy because the cost of intelligence has gone to zero. Everybody now is a so-called expert. So if the knowledge economy, the cost of knowledge has gone to zero, where does Lebanon find the advantage? That needs to be something that every stakeholder is at the table. Otherwise, we're going to miss not only the AI wave, but every wave that's coming.
Yeah, totally agree. And that shift actually depends on also like how well the research is connected to the real economy. And this brings me to my next question, Dr. Bteiche. So Lebanon has strong universities and creative researchers, yet relatively very little research turns into scalable innovation. What needs to change for ideas and research to actually turn into like startups and products?
Thank you for the question, Maria. Regarding the research, today research to become scalable innovation needs global market access. This is an essential point today we need to think about. And if we need to take an example, for example, once we acquisitioned our core back process and our core cloud infrastructure, we went to Oulu. Oulu is a small city in the north of Finland, which is thriving mainly due to the fact that universities are there next to global corporate environment, as well as other main institutions. All this frictional environment allowed startups, university, research to be fully aligned in order to go to market. So any product development should take into consideration the research that are being made. And whenever you give research open access to markets or global access, then you can fund it properly, you can develop the segment and become an industry. If you look at major, let's say, countries where development are occurring, they have the highest published papers by default. So if we need to enable research, we need to stop doing research just for research, just for publishing papers. We need to start aligning our research with a go-to-market and a global market accessibility. And the way to do that is first, please, to declassify Lebanon from the high-risk countries list. Today, we, as a corporate, we cannot invite international talents to come to Beirut. It's still classified as a high-risk country. We need to bring back those corporates to open their offices as a starting point, to create this frictional environment, and then to be capable to interlink through transfer offices or translation mechanism in between our universities and get the funding required from the go-to-market or the global market accessibility. Without that, we are still operating in silos. We are still operating on a very, very small scale.
Thank you. Now, let's make this look a little bit more concrete and talk about specific sectors. Dr. Sahili, do you see any specific sectors, such as fintech or health tech, where Lebanon could realistically innovate at a global level? And what are the barriers that would actually prevent it from doing so?
Of course we do. Let's take the two factors again. We have an entrepreneurial spirit as Lebanese. This is by default. And at the second side, we have also a great position. We are a bridge between Africa, Middle East, and Europe. If we take those two factors, that will show us that we have a great potential. Now, if we look, for example, at fintech, what do we have in our hands? We have a diaspora that is approximately funding Lebanon with $8 billion. Imagine if we can go and create AI solutions where, for example, we are focusing on blockchain-based, let's say, financial remittances, where those decentralized financial apps will allow us to reduce our banking fees by 50%. This will allow us also to use the AI in order to detect earlier any fraud. This is one example where we can use the assets of diaspora. Second thing, if we look at healthcare and health tech, I agree with Dr. Bteiche that we cannot continue having research just for the sake of having a research. We have to leverage our top-ranking hospitals. And if we do so, we can easily build an AI-based telemedicine solution, taking into consideration as well our diversified population. So if we integrate our genomics into and use that data, this will allow us to not export anymore our doctors or nurses or whoever works in healthcare into hospitals abroad, but will allow us to run hospitals from within Lebanon. And this will also help in our brain gain that we spoke about earlier. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, innovation.
Sorry. You asked about. Sorry. You asked about the barriers. I forgot about.
Yes, barriers.
Well, barriers, of course, we have the electrical outages. We have barriers related to infrastructure, which doesn't help with the data centers, etc. But I think that this also is an opportunity for us to allow investment where we are calling private sector to partner with the public sector. And I believe that MP Bassil has mentioned this earlier, where he clearly stated the need of co-investing in order to face those barriers in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Of course, innovation needs institutions and governance, like the right institution and governance framework for it to thrive. Now let's watch an intervention from Dr. Pierre El-Khouri, a UN consultant and a researcher in intellectual property and new technology laws in Lebanon, who he will share with us where Lebanon stands today.
مرحبا، أنا بيير الخوري، محامي وباحث بقوانين الملكية الفكرية وقوانين تكنولوجيا المعلومات والاتصالات. حالياً عميد كليات الحقوق والعلوم السياسية في جامعة سيدة الويزة NDU، ومدير معهد المحاماة في نقابة المحامين في بيروت. من 20 سنة على الأقل بشتغل على التوازن ما بين التكنولوجيات الحديثة والقانون، وكيفية دمج التكنولوجيا بالقانون، وكيف يمكن للقانون أن يغطي الحالات الجديدة التي تنشأ بتطور التكنولوجيا. اقتصاد المعرفة هي منا هدف للاقتصاد اللبناني، هي بصلب الاقتصاد اللبناني، لأنه ما عنا إلا المعرفة لنبني عليها ولاقتصادنا يقوم ويقوى على هالأساس. ولكن المعرفة مهما كانت كبيرة، إذا ما في إطار قانوني بيحميها، بيحط لها إطار وبيشجعها، رح تبقى معرفة بحتة ولن تتحول إلى أصل اقتصادي يمكن الاستثمار فيه بالمستقبل. رغم كل التحديات، لبنان بلش مش اليوم، يعني على الأقل من 3 أو 4 سنوات بمسار تحديث البنية القانونية ببعض القوانين يلي هي قوانين أساسية جدا. أولا سنة 2022 تم إقرار قانون إدخال تدريس الروبوتيك والذكاء الاصطناعي بالمدارس، وهيدا قانون أساسي هدفه ليس فقط تربوي ولكن هدفه اقتصادي استراتيجي، لأنه يلي عم ندرسه اليوم بالمدارس هيدا تقطف ثماره بعد 10 سنوات. ونحن بنعرف كلنا قد ايه أهمية التكنولوجيا والذكاء الاصطناعي بالمستقبل الاقتصادي للدول. إذن هيدا قانون أساسي جدا، وأنا كتبته وكان لي شرف أني شارك بكتابته. ثانيا في عنا موضوع الثقة الرقمية، وهون بحب أحكي عن مشروع مرسوم أيضا أنا شاركت بكتابته وموجود حاليا لدى الوزير المختص بالذكاء الاصطناعي اللي هي الوزارة المستحدثة حديثا مؤخرا. هذا موضوع أساسي، لأنه اليوم إذا بدنا نحكي عن خدمات إلكترونية أو خدمات رقمية، بدنا ننتقل من الورق إلى الإلكتروني، يجب أن يكون لدينا التوقيع الإلكتروني للسندات الرسمية. عم بحكي إذن اليوم الموظف الرسمي الذي يوقع سندا لا يمكن أن يوقعه إلكترونيا، ولكن بدنا قانون أو بدنا مرسوم لتطبيق إذن القانون الموجود عندنا من 2018. وهذا الأمر أساسي جدا للانتقال التدريجي إلى الخدمات الإلكترونية أو الرقمية، لنوصل إلى إدارة حديثة بعلاقتها مع المجتمع وبعلاقة الإدارة مع غيرها من الإدارات الرسمية. ثالثا في عنا كمان موضوع أساسي جدا يلي هو لا يمكن أن يكون لدينا اقتصاد رقمي أو اقتصاد معرفي من دون ما نتطرق له، هو حماية البيانات ذات الطابع الشخصي. نحن في عنا قانون صدر ب 2018 ولكن ليس على المستوى المطلوب إن كان محلياً أو إقليمياً أو دولياً. كمان أنا من حوالي 3 سنوات صغت مشروع قانون يتعلق بحماية البيانات ذات الطابع الشخصي يعدل القانون الحالي، وتم إقراره والموافقة عليه من قبل مجلس أوروبا، وحالياً هو لدى الوزارات المختصة لتحويله إلى المجلس النيابي، وإقراره أكيد قد ما بيكون أسرع بيكون أحسن، لأنه كل يوم عم نخسره هو خسارة للاقتصاد الوطني. رابعاً، إذا ما فينا نحكي عن اقتصاد معرفي من دون ما نتحدث عن حقوق الملكية الفكرية intellectual property. والملكية الفكرية إن كنا عم نحكي ملكية صناعية أو ملكية أدبية فنية هي أساسية، خاصة بالوضع اللبناني، لأنه مثل ما قلت ما عنا إلا نتاج فكري، ما عنا إلا أفكار، ما عنا إلا اختراعات، ما عنا إلا أدب، إلا فن، إلا موسيقى، شعر، مسرح، سينما، برامج كمبيوتر. هيدي كلها يجب أن يكون عنا قوانين ملكية فكرية تؤمن الحماية اللازمة لكي يتمكن المخترع والمبتكر والمبدع من أنه يحصل على المردود اللازم من نتاجه الفكري. وهذا الأمر الطريق الوحيد الذي سوف يشجع الاستثمارات أنه تجي على لبنان. إذا ما عنا حماية ملكية فكرية سوف يقل عدد الاستثمارات الأجنبية في هذا المجال في لبنان. اقتصاد المعرفة ما بينبنى بقرار واحد، اقتصاد المعرفة بينبنى برؤية سياسية، بينبنى بإطار قانوني واضح، وبينبنى بشراكة بين الدولة مع القطاع الخاص مع الجامعات ومع الانتشار. وهون القانون ما بيكون عائق ولكن بيكون أداة لصناعة المستقبل.
So as highlighted in this video, Lebanon has already taken steps and is in the process of taking more steps across 4 areas to support the knowledge economy in the context of institutions and governance. That is by introducing robotics and AI in schools, legalizing e-signatures, strengthening personal data protection, and improving intellectual property protection. Mr. Bakkar, from your perspective, what laws and regulations you think are most critical today to enable a knowledge economy in Lebanon?
Thank you. That's another excellent question. So basically, in all innovation worldwide, you notice that regulations are always a bit delayed, because lawmakers have trouble to understand the technology, have trouble to understand what is it going to change in daily life, what is it going to change in what everybody is doing on daily basis, and therefore innovation goes a bit faster. So what lawmakers could do is sit together with experts, sit together with institutions, universities, and basically understand how and when laws should be in place in order to be ahead of any issues that can occur. And to give you a very small example, drones. Drones are basically one of these innovations that were ahead of regulations. And you see now that there is a struggle in containing them, in understanding who is controlling them, and they are being used as a tool for bad deeds.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, finally, we can have the best talent, the best policies, and the most advanced research, but we need some basic level of infrastructure for all this to function. Dr. Bteiche, digital infrastructure, like reliable internet, for example, is often cited as a major bottleneck in Lebanon. From your experience, what is the minimum level of infrastructure that is needed to have to enable a knowledge economy, like to have more technology development, remote work possible? What could that be?
Well, Maria, in fact, we deploy our solutions approximately everywhere in the US and European Union in Africa and Middle East. So majorly, if you need really to support this knowledge economy, we have to start with the basics here. We are really far behind. We need to have a proper energy planning, take into consideration the cloud infrastructure that we require and the AI processing power that we require. Definitely, we need connectivity. Today, one of the anecdotes that we say is that we had to pull a lot of strings to protect our team during the war. Because the team value was majorly communication, and we needed to send the data, we needed to deploy remotely. So internet was for us a day-by-day anxiety. What if the internet got killed simply during the war? So all the teams should be dismantled. We should export all the people outside our country and begin again re-establishing the team. So internet connectivity should be always secured. It should be redundant. It should be always available, more than 99% available. We should treat similar kind of pillars as boosters for our economy and stop dealing with them as local issues. Today, the internet, whether through satellites, through Starlink, through the fiber infrastructure, should be a basic for all of us to be capable to build upon. Plus, we need to be capable also to develop our cloud infrastructure. We need to have data hosting partners that go over to our country and deploy their services, like Microsoft Azure, like Amazon AWS, or other partners as well. Because today, if you look at the knowledge economy, we need to create the ecosystem for startups, for research. And for example, in healthcare, we need test beds. Test beds can only be used within the premise of a national infrastructure. You are not allowed to transact your data, demographic data or clinical data, which are highly secure data outside your country, or host them outside your country. It is simply not allowed by regulation. If we look also, for example, for the sandbox environment required, if I am an AI startup today and I need to test-base my solution, first thing I need to have is a sandbox environment with proper processing power. These are, I think, the two main pillars that we need today before moving on to e-signature, e-government. Then definitely we can expand, for example, the power of AI in telemedicine coverage and remote rural areas support, or even for e-signature or e-contracts for the government itself. That would definitely limit, for example, in our case, corruption.
Thank you. So we've talked about the opportunity, we've talked about the enablers. Now let's focus on the connector that brings all this together, the Lebanese diaspora. Mr. Wehbe, from your experience, what are the most effective ways that the Lebanese diaspora can contribute to the knowledge economy in Lebanon?
So I believe that if we're going to focus on the traditional internships and jobs and freelance opportunities, that's only putting a Band-Aid on the problem. The best high-value opportunity are centers of excellence and labs that are overseas. So if anyone in the audience is part of a lab in any country in the world, those high-value opportunities that are creating the intellectual property that drives the economy, those are the opportunities that Lebanon needs to connect to the talent here, is working on stuff that's solving real problems and not just, you know, some small freelance jobs that are just putting a sort of a Band-Aid on it. So I would urge anyone that's participating in any of these labs or centers of excellence overseas, and anyone that wants to maybe map the knowledge economy of Lebanon or work on a knowledge economy center of excellence, to participate in that, because that is what I believe is going to boost, because that's what it's done. If we look at the GDP of California by itself, California's economy is run on R&D. And that's how innovation is. It's intellectually and R&D driven. And that's how we need to approach it in Lebanon as well.
Yeah. I mean, if we have the intent, we also need like to put a structure to it. Like, how can this all happen and make it happen? So, Dr. Sahili, how can we transform the Lebanese diaspora's global network and all these various initiatives into like a structured engine for Lebanon, for the knowledge transfer, and also like who do you think should be leading this effort?
Well, I think it has to be visionaries. Visionaries who can tell us by 2030, 2040, where will we be? What are the potentials that we are unlocking clearly? We cannot just think, for example, about energy solutions because we want to power on appliances at home. we are all talking here about AI. Has the energy strategy taken into consideration the needs for AI powering, which is now, for example, one of the barriers even in the USA? How, I think for a structured engine, first it has to be built on a stakeholders approach. Think of it like, for example, similar to Industry 2.0, let's say LDE 2.0. What does that mean? It means that we have a kind of decentralized autonomous organization where it is blockchain secured. Diaspora can vote on investment opportunities. Take as an example Armenia with their Impact Hub. They have been able to unlock around $200 million, if I'm not mistaken, since 2020. So these are the things that we need to have in order not to work anymore in silos as emerging diaspora leaders, but at the contrary, to be working together. And here you have to involve everyone, government, diaspora associations, alumni that are present in Lebanon, everyone that can help into turning what I call the ad hoc remittances into strategic evolution of our diaspora into Lebanon role. Thank you.
Thank you. So many countries have probably gone through the same and have benefited from from their diaspora in different parts of the world. Dr. Mitri, can you share examples of any successful diaspora-led initiatives that you know from other countries where Lebanon could learn or it could be a realistic learning for Lebanon?
I'm not gonna give you an example because I am the example.
Okay.
سمعت ما الوزير بسيم شو عم بيقول انه لغوا القناص عشان تسمعني؟ راح عيط. I'm doing my best. Okay, so كنت عم بسمع حديثك من شوي، كنت عم بتقول انه we don't know who, maybe you know، لغيوا القناص للملحقين التجاريين. Exactly. So I am part of the steering committee مع السفارة الفرنسية بالسعودية. وزارة الخارجية عندها بروجرام اسمه بزنس فرانس. بزنس فرانس عم نحكي عن 1700 موظف متواجدين ب 50 بلد و100 بلد through partners. شغلتهم الوحيدة ياخذوا هالسكسسفل انتربرونورز والشركات الناشئة الفرنسية ويوصلوهم للبلدان كافة. بالسعودية لحالها وشركتي أنا لحالها one company in one country we contributed للإيكونومي الفرنسي $70 مليون in 2024. it's very easy. benchmark موجود. Business France is a program inside وزارة الخارجية متواجدة بالسفارات تعمل benchmarking سنوي للنيو انتربرونورز والشركات الناجحة بأي بلد كان، وشغلتها تعمل هيدي الكونكتيفيتي بيناتهم.
Okay, thank you. So to close this panel, I will ask a last question, which will be common to all the panelists. So very briefly, in one word or maybe a short sentence, what should define Lebanon's knowledge economy's future? Mr. Wehbe, if you want to start.
I would say it's a center of excellence, and similar to one of the speakers earlier that said sort of Lebanon and gastronomy as a form of diplomacy, America is using AI as a form of diplomacy. So we need to figure out what is Lebanon's form of diplomacy for the knowledge economy so that we can work on programs similar to Business France. So center of excellence.
Okay.
For me, I will keep it very short. I will call it the resilience of the Lebanese entrepreneurs. Like I said when I started, I believe in our entrepreneurs, شبابنا هن مستقبل هذا البلد.
Thank you.
I would say an evolution of our resilience. We speak about resilience. I think it's time to evolve that into a new era.
I believe that if we need to play big, if we need to become a scalable nation, to be influential in our region and globally, we need to re-establish trust. Trust with a long-term vision for the government, for the public sector, also for the private regulations. The only way international corporates will come back to the country is by re-establishing trust. This is the main word.
Thank you.
In my humble opinion, in order to strive as a knowledge economy, one needs to really focus on the basics here in the country. That's safety and security. Make sure that we all have that. We all have these basic things, and the Lebanese institutions will continue working as a knowledge economy. They will continue working as the export country for the region, but also for the whole world, because this is what we are, this is who we are, and this is what we're good at. Now, in Arabic, I would say, aman istiqrar, and everything will flow. كل شيء بيمشي لحاله.
Thank you. So basically, like centers of excellence, entrepreneurship, resilience, trust, Lebanon as a base, all this, we need them to happen to have like a strong knowledge economy. Thank you so much for your exceptional contributions. I will ask you to stay on stage because we've been talking about what needs to happen, but now we'll see a concrete example of a diaspora initiative that is happening. So we are joined now by Dr. Lubna Hasnieh, who will share an initiative led by the Asher Foundation for Innovation and Entrepreneurship for establishing incubators in universities in Lebanon. Dr. Hasnieh is a published scientist in the field of angiogenesis and its role in cancer growth. She is the producer and moderator of Unheard Stories, a monthly webinar that aims to heighten the Lebanese diaspora experience. She is here today to represent the Asher Foundation for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Dr. Hasnieh, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and fellow members of our global Lebanese family. It is both an honor and a joy to be standing among you here today at this remarkable, high-energy gathering of minds, of dreams, of achievements, that reflect the true spirit of Lebanon wherever it shines around the globe. My deepest gratitude to the visionary team behind this empowering initiative, the LDE, and all those who have worked hard to bring our diaspora together. I would like to take a second to thank our former minister and member of parliament, Gibran Basil, for always taking good care of the diaspora and understanding very well the key role that the diaspora can play in the well-being of Lebanon and the recovery of society, recovery of economy. Thank you so much. Let's give it to the LDE. Well, today we are celebrating not only the individual success stories, but the collective heartbeat of a nation that thrives through its people. We, the diaspora, left home to build, to innovate, to lead. We never ceased to carry Lebanon in our hearts. Now, the biggest question remains, however, for all of us, the diaspora. How can our experience as diaspora be woven back into a shared project of hope for Lebanon and the people of Lebanon who decided to remain deeply rooted in this land despite all adversities? Now, it is self-evident that broadly shared prosperity and reduced deprivation are the hallmarks of a healthy society and a thriving economy. Let me ask you, when does the opportunity cost of instability become too high? Well, it's when people have realistic pathways for advancement, when our young men and women can realistically plan for their future, our nation will achieve greater stability and a sustained economic prosperity. Now, our education system has given rise to remarkable ingenuity. We all know that. I've met, as a Lebanese American, so many brilliant and luminary Lebanese diaspora who continue to carve Lebanon's name into the annals of history. If you were to walk on NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories campus, you would see a cedar of Lebanon tree planted there in honor of Dr. Charles El-Ashi. Charles El-Ashi is the former director of NASA's JPL and the vice president of Caltech. Now, I consider myself lucky because he invited me to visit his office at Caltech. And from the minute I walked in, the first thing he said, "Look at that frame on the wall behind my desk." Well, it was a frame on the wall with the flag of Lebanon sitting right next to the flag of the United States. He said, "This is the same Lebanese flag that I would send on missions into space during the several space missions that were launched under his tenure at NASA." We have the Dow brothers who transformed technology. They founded Dow Systems that built innovative computer systems for hospitals, and then took a 180-degree shift and went on to disrupt and change the wine industry in California, and currently doing the same in Tuscany, Italy. You cannot drive up the coast of California without feeling the spirit of Dow. Now, the brothers harnessed creative thinking and a bold entrepreneurial mindset to unlock tremendous value and growth. Sadly, over the years, Lebanon has lost so many great talents. To encourage talent to stay in Lebanon, we need to nurture innovation, provide our students with the right resources and adequate funding to turn their ideas into viable businesses. We need to create jobs in different industries, and we need to support entrepreneurship. Now, at the Asher Foundation for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, we are keen to do just that. We are currently working to establish and fund centers for innovation and entrepreneurship on campuses throughout Lebanon. These will be ideation centers and incubators that will have a far-reaching impact on the institution, on the students, and more broadly speaking, on the economy. Part of the foundation's success story is that there is already a Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at UZEC, the Holy Spirit University of Kaslik. It was established back in 2017 and has helped and supported more than 40 startups. There's a new accelerator also called LabHub that is designed to help high-potential Lebanese startups coming from all incubators in Lebanon. It is absolutely a diaspora-powered program that connects entrepreneurs with the global Lebanese diaspora for mentorship, for market access, for distribution channels, capital, while providing all the support they need back home. LabHub will also serve the number of existing companies, pre-existing companies that are looking to expand and grow. Now, the foundation is currently and very naturally seeking more investors, more mentors, and more distribution channels. Because LabHub and the incubators can never have enough support to serve the growing number of companies and innovations coming through the university incubator programs. Now, the director of LabHub, Mr. Khalil Isa, is sitting with us today. Yes. If you have any questions or you need to be filled in on more details, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I will be there too to answer any question you may have. To end, I call on all of us to go beyond the bounds of our situation, our current situation that has held our nation and our people back far too long. Let us call upon each other to shift our thinking and redirect our perspective towards empowering our youth and make them the successful entrepreneurs of the future. Buddha put it best when he said some 2,600 years ago, and that's 2,600 years prior to the discoveries of quantum physics, when he said, "What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you can create." So let us imagine a beautiful and majestic Lebanon, and let us create a path forward for all of us, filled with hope, innovations, and opportunity for all. So thank you so much.
A group photo for everyone.